I want to just tell you a little bit of language about the golden guarantee. Is anybody in here struggling with people bringing them pieces that they're like, oh my gosh, I don't think this really is covered by the golden guarantee. I'm not really sure what to do. Yeah, okay. Because I've heard that from a lot of you, like especially you're posting on Facebook, you know, what is this picture? Which is good. You need to do that because we'll tell you. We'll tell you what it is. And I need you to know that I'm going to give you some language that I think is really going to help, but ultimately, Premier loves you, and Premier loves its customers, and it wants its customers to be happy. So if you're in a pickle and you don't know what to do, just replace it, okay? I don't want you to feel stressed like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to handle this situation. Get some advice from your upline, but ultimately, if it is a judgment call, replace it, okay? So I just want to say that up front. Now, I want to teach you a little bit about what I say, because I have changed it even in the last 6 months. This has been kind of progressing and developing, so I don't think I've really explained this to anyone in this room. Okay, so I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what I do. So when we get to the golden guarantee part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that they understand that what we have is a manufacturing defect guarantee, not a lifetime warranty. Okay, and so I've even had women come up to me at the beginning of the show and say, I have a piece for you from 4 years ago, and it's broken. And I say, okay, great, you know what? We're going to talk about that in the show, so why don't you just come up after and we'll talk about it, after you hear what I have to say, because I'm going to explain it. They never come up. So I'm gonna show you what I share, and then it's a judgment call on their part, but you're putting it more in their hands. And if after they hear your explanation, they're still bugging you, again, side on pleasing them, serving them, and replace it. Okay? All right, so we get to the G, and I say, okay, ladies, G is for golden guarantee, and I am so excited that Premier has this golden guarantee. You're going to love it. First of all, Premier manufactures about half of the jewelry. The other half we actually buy from distributors in New England, so we absolutely love the New England states. Now, whether we manufacture it or they manufacture it, we stand behind it because we want you to have a fabulous piece. Do you think you guys could shut the doors for me? Okay, so we want you to have an absolutely fabulous piece. Now, what we have is a golden guarantee. We guarantee that our jewelry is manufactured wonderfully. And so if something goes wrong with manufacturing, we want to get you a new piece. So if a stone falls out, if the plating is bad, or something like the lobster claw, there's a problem, let me know right away, because it's totally free in the first 60 days to get you a new one. All I need is that piece back. I'll send it to Premier, and Premier will give you a new piece. Now, if it's after 60 days, it's just $5 plus tax to cover, the shipping and the handling, but we still want to get you a new piece. But it's critical that it's a manufacturing defect because what we offer is a golden guarantee, not a lifetime warranty. And there is a difference because, our jewelry is high fashion jewelry. It's not fine jewelry. Did you know there are 3 different kinds of jewelry? There's the costume jewelry that I buy my daughters from Justice. There's he went to Jared's, or at least I hope he did. That's fine jewelry. And then what bridges the gap is high fashion jewelry, and that's what Premier sells. We try to look at that fine jewelry that none of us could really afford, and we make it in a way that we can all afford it. Our average price is $37. Now, do you love my shoes? Aren't they fabulous? Do you love them? Love them? I know, I love them too. And I usually have on my zebra shoes, so they're really fabulous. And I say, I have got to take care of these shoes. If I wear these shoes absolutely every single day, because they're totally my favorite shoes, after a while, I have an expectation that I need to go get myself a new pair of shoes, right? They're not going to last forever, and neither will our jewelry. High fashion jewelry is really intended to last about 3 or 4 seasons of wear, but I can help you make it last longer. See, we don't cover wear and tear. So if your jewelry starts to look icky because you wore it every day, girlfriend, if you love it, wear it every day. Do you see this, My Love ring? I love this ring, this My Love ring. And because, after you have some babies, I don't know if you know this, but your knuckles get big and your wedding ring does not fit anymore. Somebody should have a warning label on those cute little skinny brides and go, girlfriend, someday you're going to be fat. And you're choosing platinum, and that is really expensive to make it bigger. So I pick out a Premier ring, and this is my new favorite. Now, I this every single day for like 3 months straight. I have an expected time that this is going to last, that eventually I'm probably going to wear the life right out of it, and I'll need to buy a new one. You know, I don't want to go to Premier and say, you know, I wore that ring every single day, and it just surely did not last, and I need a new one. Because then, you know what I'm doing? I'm taking money out of the missionary budget. Because at the end of every month, Premier, remember I told you this, gives a profit to Word of Life Ministries. So if I've worn out my jewelry or I've broken my jewelry, I'm basically, you know, taking money out of that Word of Life bucket, and I don't want to do that. So what I do to make this last longer, because doesn't it look fabulous? I mean, it still looks super shiny. Do you know, people think it's real. The guy at the airport was like, oh, ma'am, please do not take that off. My best friend, I went out to lunch with her, and she goes, did you get your ring reset? I said, Katie, no, it's Premier. What do you think I do? So I'm like, yeah. But anyway, I take it off when I wash my hands because water is the enemy to our jewelry. And I'll tell you the biggest enemy, sweat. And I'm not talking about a hot flash, girls. And just remember, when you have a hot flash, you just tell your husband, I'm still hot. It just comes in flashes. Okay? But it's not hot flashes that I'm talking about. I'm talking about I'm going to go golfing and I want to look fabulous out there on the course. And so I am just all dolled up because that sweat is going to affect the plating of the jewelry. Now, if you want to wear it, you go, girl. Just don't bring it to me and ask me to replace it if you sweat it all over it. You know what I'm saying? But I got this covered, okay? Because has anybody in here ever lost an earring? Okay, has anybody in here ever accidentally broken their jewelry? Hello? Has anybody had a kid or a husband accidentally break your jewelry? Okay, so that is no fun. Cry me a river, call me up and go, I need the jewelry, oops, guarantee. So if you lose something or you break it or you do something really wrong with your jewelry and you need it replaced, let's not make Premier pay for it. Ask me and you can rebuy it from me if you bought it from me originally. At 50% off. That is my cost. Do you love it?
Love it.
Okay, so it's fabulous. So, and I have lots of women take me up on that earring offer all the time because they lose one earring. So definitely do that. You guys understand the golden guarantee now, difference between a guarantee and a warranty. So you let me know and make sure you call me right away because time is a factor. Premier will take care of it, and I love working for a company that takes care of its customers and takes care of me because I'm so happy I don't have to pay for your new jewelry if it breaks. Premier will. Okay, and then I move on. Yes, Patty.
Question: if something is going out, it's limited edition, can you exchange that?
Right, and this is a great question, Patty, because see, Premier has things in place for that reason. The reason that when we say, okay, if it's out of stock, we can pick something else, is for right now. So say it's the Momentum ring, and they order the size 7, and it's chipped, like something's wrong with the plating. Now size 7 is gone. What do? Are you just plumb out of luck? No. You have $36, however much it costs, to spend however you want. It's really not intended for... we have this piece that is so old, we don't even know what it's called. Julie's been around 6 years. She doesn't even recognize it. Let's email Premier and find out what it is so we can find out the value so that you can exchange it. I mean, that's just not right. You know, poor Premier. But see, I will tell you, Premier will take it back. They will absolutely take it back, so don't worry. But you can say to someone, when they come up to you with a piece, you could go, oh my gosh, I don't even recognize that. You know, since I don't recognize it, I think that's probably going to fall under the wear and tear, which means I would love to give you a discount. Why don't you pick another bracelet out, and I'll give you, and you decide what you're comfortable with giving. It might just be 10%, but give her something, because people always want something. You know, then they'll feel better. You know, you don't want to go, I cannot return that because that is ridiculously old. And I cannot even believe, you know, that comes out of the missionary budget. I mean, that's all I'm talking about here. I mean, if in doubt, take it and say this. You know what, I don't recognize that, but I'm a fairly new jeweler. Now, I can't guarantee that we can do anything about this because we do have a guarantee, not a warranty. So if it's really old, it'll probably fall under the wear and tear. But I'll take it and I'll email Premier and I'll find out for you. And you can decide if, you know, if it doesn't, I can give you a discount to buy something else. Or I could just give you a discount today on a different bracelet if you want. See, now, she respects that. Then you can come text me and I can look it up for you, and I can be Premier. And if I shoot back, girlfriend, I don't even know that. I mean, that means it's at least 6 years old. If you had a pair of shoes that were 6 years old, would you expect Macy's to take them back? So you just need to think about that. Any other questions? Because that was a good one. Yeah.
And this might be silly, but how do you tell the difference between whether somebody is sweat over it or it's the plating?
Okay, if you don't know, replace it. Okay, if you do not know, just replace it. That's the easy answer. Premier wants them to be happy. Chic, I had, and believe me, I've been put in these pickles before that you're like, I don't know how to handle this. Just replace it, okay? Because Premier really wants the people to be happy and they don't want you to be uncomfortable. But I'm just trying to give you verbiage to hopefully stop some of these people from, especially if you, moving forward, if you start explaining that at your shows, when I started really explaining this, I saw my replacement exchanges going way down, okay? Chic, if it is a strongly silver piece and it's something that's short like this, and it is black, that's sweat. Plating is, it's come off. Like pieces of it has chipped off, or sections of it has worn away. And that is always an issue too, like with a ring, because I have that big pearl ring I used to wear all the time, and I wore the bottom away. And I bought myself another one because I did that. That was just me loving it and wearing it. And this one, eventually I might hit this enough times that the plating's gonna chip. Now, if that happens to somebody and they've had it under 6 months, I mean, totally, I don't care how much she's worn it, I would exchange it, you know what I mean? But then I had one lady when I was a new jeweler that said, I wore this in the ocean and one of the stones fell out. Now, I was a new jeweler, I didn't know what to say. So now she says it to me, I would say, oh, were you not listening to me when I gave my little spiel? You're not supposed to wear that in the water. Listen, why don't I just give you 50% off? We'll get that for you again. You know what I mean? Like you just say what needs to be said. Now, if she comes back and says, I cannot believe that. Say, oh, okay, you know what? I'll call Premier and see what I can do. Right? You know what I mean? And then you can breathe. Then you don't need to deal with it. We can talk about how you deal with it and move forward. If you ever call Premier and ask them if you can return something for tarnishing, they'll bite your head off. They get a little irritated. No, we don't return for tarnishing. Okay, so if you ever have an issue that you're like, this turned a color, just put it under plating, because tarnishing isn't an option, and don't say, it's plating, it's a plating issue. And that's a judgment call on your part. These are good questions. Any others? Does that help you, that verbiage, a little bit of, the difference between a golden guarantee and a lifetime warranty is critical. And then I think throwing in there, in a fun, upbeat way, how Premier takes the profit and gives it to Word of Life. And if you broke it, or you lost it, or you wore it out and you're asking for a new one, Premier's going to give it to you. They're just going to that's just a little less profit that they've got to work with. Okay, so we are going to go, yes? Question?
No.
Oh, okay. We are going to go and